I'm on page 134. Chain of command doesn't apply to other military contractors in the field. I don't see why it should apply to us.
Caprese sandwich.
Well, when they're in actual combat, whom exactly do your heroes report to?
Same person as always. Me.
Spicy chicken cilantro wrap.
Subheading 16. We need a top secret Yankee White designation for Compound B.
Come on, Stan. Only one man okays that. You want to stroll into the Oval Office and start barking orders?
Hell yes. Half our own heroes don't know they have Compound B in their veins. You want China finding out?
This one. Best efforts to limit collateral damage. We'd prefer stronger wording.
Well, that's standard language for our New York contract. L.A., Chicago.
Exactly what casualty allowance are we looking at here?
Officially, 0, of course. But cone of silence, 34%.
Veggie frittata.
ممكن بقوة نار المقدسة؟
هيك كتروا الكلمات، بدنا جملة تشد الانتباه.
شو رأيك ترق بالحقيقة؟
هي جملة تمام. أنا بفتكر إنه
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new Boys Season 2 video for Homelander and what's going on with them talking about the White House, the president. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I'll be doing videos for all of the episodes during Season 2. I just did a big trailer video, so I'll link that at the end of this too. They also just posted all the titles for the Season 2 episodes, but these might not be in the right order. But I got a lot of questions about what's going on with Homelander's character and what's going on with the plot during Season 2 and the introduction of Stormfront. So there are a couple clever things that they're doing during this opening scene with Giancarlo Esposito's character talking about marching into the White House, barking orders, telling the President of the United States what to do. You really want to do that? He says, hell yes, I want to do that. Superheroes in the military was a big Season 1 plot. That was just a prelude to the real plan that Vought American has, putting superheroes in the White House, in the government, because that's where the real power is. Vought American is all about using superheroes to make money. They don't care about saving people or anything like that. Superheroes are just a front business for them as a way to make more money. But really their long game is to actually take control on a more global scale, and in order to do that, they need to take control of the government, so they need to get superheroes in the government. Within the context of the comic book and the TV show, Congress doesn't like superheroes any more than the military leadership does, so it's another battle that they have to fight during Season 2. And when Giancarlo Esposito's character is talking about Yankee White clearance, what he's saying is that he needs Yankee White clearance because of the Compound V stuff. It's the highest level of security clearance and background checks done on someone who works directly with the president and the vice president of the United States. It's literally like the highest level of security clearance you can get next to top secret military clearance. And if it wasn't clear, they also clarified during this clip that literally every superhero is a Compound V superhero. No superheroes are born naturally, except, we just found out, Homelander's son. It is possible to have a biological superhero and pass that on to someone else. But up to that point, Vogelbaum, everyone who worked inside Vought American developing the Compound V formula, believed that it was not possible for superheroes to have children. They believed that administering the Compound V to young children, young babies for the most part, mostly made them sterile, so they weren't capable of reproducing. Then they talk about chain of command. This is another clever reference to what goes on during the comic book. Whose orders do superheroes follow in the field when they're on missions? Giancarlo Esposito claims that they report to him. What happens, though, if they go off the rails? What happens when a superhero goes rogue and they can't control them? That is what people like Black Noir are for, their contingency plan. He's a master assassin who's seemingly impervious to most types of attacks, or at least very resilient against other common superhero abilities. That's the clever reference to the comic book storyline for Black Noir that they're making with the way that they edited this opening scene for episode 1 of them talking about Chain of Command, the White House, superheroes not following orders, and collateral damage, while Black Noir is busy taking out this other big, powerful superhero. There's also that cone of silence joke because Black Noir never speaks. That's also a reference to the old TV show Get Smart because they had a literal cone of silence joke on that show. So pretty much all superheroes are on VOD American's payroll on some level. Obviously, some superheroes are more powerful than others. You have people like Homelander, but then you also have more common superheroes with just low-level abilities. Anytime one of those superheroes doesn't do what VOD tells them to do or goes really off the rails, they usually send in people like Black Noir to take them out. But here's when we get to Homelander's plot during Season 2. I know a lot of people saw him in that clip with Stormfront, and they're like, why does he look so different? He doesn't look as big as he did during Season 1. That's mostly because of the way they filmed him with that camera lens. It just kind of warps his face a little bit, and he doesn't have quite as much of the muscle suit on underneath the actual costume. This is the clip of him from that live stream talking about Homelander's story during Season 2.
So I look at it like Season 1 was a very externalized season. He was really he was trying to find his way in the world, and it was very externally focused, right? His Oedipal complex was fixed by the end of Season 1. So Season 2 is about dealing with the repercussions about that, but then it becomes a much more internalized journey of, you know, you've taken these big, strong actions into, you know, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and killing mummy figure and trying to take control without, you know, with a sense of autonomy. And now you've got to deal with it. So it really is very challenging for him, which makes it a very interesting season.
So what he's saying is that Homelander has already gone rogue in a big way by killing Vogelbaum, then killing Stillwell. The thing about this, though, is that VOD American actually doesn't care that he killed Stillwell, and they don't care about Vogelbaum that much either. He had effectively been retired and already trying to stop VOD American from more crazy experiments with superheroes and young babies. That was what that whole conversation with Homelander about his son was about, why he hid his son from Homelander in the fate of Butcher's wife, because he wanted the kid to have a chance at a better life than what they did with Homelander when he was growing up. They're the reason, or at least Vogelbaum blames himself for Homelander turning into a psychopath. So Homelander in Season 2 is just dealing with what he does next now that he's achieved his goals of Season 1. His plan to put supers in the military by manipulating the media with the attacks on the plane. I'll laser every single one of you, everybody post all your memes, and he lies about the foreign superheroes he himself was partially responsible for creating. If you are confused what's going on here, the reason why this foreign superhero that Black Noir is taking out at the beginning of this episode became a superhero is because this is a terrorist cell and someone like A-Train ran Compound V to them on the DL, giving them this dosage so that they could create their own superhero to become a supervillain that would create an even bigger need for supers in the military. If it wasn't clear during Season 1, that was not VOD American's plan. They were actually going the more traditional route, trying to lobby Congress, and that just was going super slow. Homelander was the one that went rogue and had his own plan for accomplishing that goal. That's why he was so proud and why Stillwell was so surprised when he explained it in the finale. So when Anthony Starr is referencing Homelander during Season 2 about what he does next now that he really can do whatever he wants to do, as he said during Season 1, that's where it comes back around to the even bigger plot to put superheroes in the White House and the government, going from intimidating the people into doing whatever he wants to gaining real power and literally being able to tell people whatever he wants them to do. Homelander for president. Be sure to vote this fall. What a coincidence that we are in the middle of an election year in the United States. I feel like it's perfect timing for a lot of the storyline during The Boys Season 2, even though that's a bit of a long game in terms of The Boys comic book. If you have read the comic book, careful not to post too many spoilers in the comments, but they are changing some of the comic book plot. It won't be exactly like it all went down in the comics. But it all comes back around to this idea of gaining real power and taking control of the government. What about Stormfront, though? Obviously, she's one of the big new characters during Season 2. She uses social media and her mind-reading ability to control enormous groups of people. That's a bit of a comic book change, too. He's more of a traditional superhero in the comics that just leads a team called Payback, which is a Marvel Avengers Easter egg. But on the TV show, if she's all about controlling large groups of people, and that's what Homelander is ultimately trying to do, and they're trying to put supers in the White House eventually, if Anthony Starr, Mr. Homelander himself, says that her character is slowly going to gain his trust over the course of the season, maybe she's actually viewing herself as something of a future First Lady to a Homelander presidency. The way they talk about both the characters, they're utter psychopaths, but they say that she's way worse than Homelander during season 2. So everyone let me know in the comments, what do you think that they're going to change about Stormfront and Homelander's storyline during season 2 and the idea that they want to put superheroes in the government or take control of the government ultimately? Eric Kripke, the showrunner for The Boys, said that there'd be a bunch more trailers and a bunch more clips coming really soon, so of course I'll do videos for all that stuff and the new footage when they drop it. The season is starting September 4th. If you didn't see my last video, I'll link that at the end of this because there's a bunch of other different footage. Everyone click here for that brand new trailer video, and click here for that brand new Superman Man of Tomorrow movie trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys tonight.